I'm David Ingram, and you're watching a program called Around the World with David Ingram. I'm talking to Dan Walkow from www.seabankcapital.com, and Dan is one of the only people in the world.
That's stretching it, David.
Well, no, you are. Can you name 5 other people that do what you do?
Well,
no, you're in the business.
Well, we're in the business. We specialize in
Can you name 5 other people that are licensed to do what you do?
No, not off. It's not impossible.
Yeah, I know you can name 4, but you can't name 5, I don't think.
Let's not overdo it.
Well, I've been doing this for 46 years, and I have been looking for people. When I found you, I thought, oh my gosh, I died. I've gone to heaven.
It's not that good, folks.
Well, no, it is.
Good,
because, hey, I can count on one hand the number of people that I've deigned to go for lunch with in the last 5 years, and you're one of them.
Thank you.
Okay, and I enjoy because what you do is so important to people that do cross-border stuff.
Well, it's coming up with unique solutions, and yeah, we break a little ground. It's like coming up with a solution with Canadian dollar accounts.
Yes.
And matching them off on the the RSP collapse, matching it up with Canadian dollars, coming up for structures for where we can provide and manage IRAs for Americans in Canada.
Yes.
Where most other major firms that force you to either freeze your account or shut them down.
Well, they make you.
So
or you come back to Canada already.
But it's a niche we're gaining every year. We gain more expertise.
Sure. A guy comes back to Canada from California. Yeah. He got laid off last week. Yeah. He's come back to Canada because he has to. He's got a 401k. Yeah. And now he's in Canada, and he says, well, they want him to do something with his 401k. Well, the usual thing is roll it into an IRA. Yeah. But they won't let him roll it into an IRA because he isn't a resident of California. Right. And nobody has license to deal with him. You can do that.
That's right.
You can fix them up.
That's right. So this is what we're doing, David. We're creating, solutions in addition to the investment management practice.
You're the problem solver.
We we provide solutions, and of course, then we manage the money. But the whole issue is these problems have to be solved, right? Because it makes such a difference from an investment policy and overall wealth return point of view, whether it's a currency-related issue, whether it's a tax-related issue. It's not just buying and selling stocks and bonds.
No.
Right? Yeah.
It's managing the money within the parameters of the law as it exists. See, the nice part about what you're doing is legal, and you're doing it legally. People phone up and they feel like a third-class citizen or a seventh-class. I've used my stockbroker for 15 years. I've got $800,000 or I've got $80,000. Doesn't matter. And now he won't talk to me if I phone him from San Francisco. Yeah. Can't talk to me. He wants me to cash my account in. I got a letter saying I got to cash my account in. And half of the people, by the time they phone me, have already done it.
Well, that's the problem.
They've already cashed it in.
As we've talked about on numerous occasions. People are, when they're told that they can't have an account at ABC company, whether it's in the United States, when people move to Canada, or vice versa, or they freeze the assets because they have a U.S. address or a Canadian address, they don't say, well, there's people who specialize in this business, here's who you should go see. Basically, just like you say, they're done, and then they say, well, and then when they do hear from them, they say, gee, I wish I would have known who you were a year ago. I mean, we've heard that again and again and again.
1,000 times.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the first call we had from Florida is indicative of that. I'm sure that man is on my email list and has been receiving things, and I hope you're still listening, because that's the kind of thing that I specialize in for the tax return, and I've never had a solution to what they do with their money, because nobody could do it. TD Waterhouse looked like it was going to be a company that was going to look after that for us 7 years ago, and they actually did get started, and then management decision came along and they closed it down. Something to do with when they bought out Ameritrade or something.
Them,
It was just, I guess Ameritrade bought them.
Well,
they said, we can't do that
It's
anymore.
A little more complicated, and as we've talked about on many occasions before, most firms simply do not, it's an extra layer of complication, regulation, compliance, and so forth, and most firms are saying I would think, I mean, I can't speak for the industry, but I mean, certainly the larger firms, it's such a small proportion of the business.
And it's hard to find an individual who even wants to get involved.
Well, it is, because you have to, as you well know, I mean, the tax ramifications impact the investment side, so you can't just be a broker in the United States and sort of, you know, have a view on the immigration side, on the tax side, on the currency side, this, you know, or even a Canadian guy. I mean, it's a different level of expertise, and that's sort of a multiple area thing.
And you have to try and figure out, and it's hard to impart it to the next generation.
There's no school to learn this, right?
Well, I'm trying to teach two sons. This the two sons right now.
You learn by, but that's, I guess my point is,
And if you think
certainly
teaching
knowing,
your kid how to
getting
drive
to know
a car is
you
tough.
and our discussions on time to time, whether it's tax or immigration or investing, is helpful, because I learn a tremendous amount from you when you talk about the tax aspects of this particular maneuver or whatever, or some of the immigration topics, and I come up with solutions. I mean, we talked some time ago about providing account services for Americans in Canada. There was no easy way to get this done. But I mean, with a little investigation and so forth, we put it together, and now we see that, you know, large firms such as UBS and others, American firms are shutting down some of their Canadian clients and operations, and we'd like to think we're the go-to people for people who are UBS refugees.
Well, UBS, of course, and let's get it straight. You're not setting up offshore things. You're not doing offshore deals that people don't. You're absolutely and clearly everything you're doing is reportable, whatever. In the UBS thing, the problem was that all sorts of people had their stuff set up. And
yeah, there's the offshore thing, but I mean, I think many firms just basically said, you know, this will get so complicated because of the offshore reporting and compliance. We're just going to stop offering services in that country, you know, period. I mean, even the good services.
Yeah.
Just going to pull right out and go home, I guess would be the word to put. But no, it's creative solutions, and that's what you have to come up with, because I find, and people I talk to just like you, everybody's different. You know, you get some people that want to have a Canadian account, a U.S. resident. You get other people who have a retirement conundrum of some sort. We run into situations like the Nortel pension issue.
Yes.
Which is a big one these days, right, as they decide as the pension payouts. Not only Nortel, this whole pension rollover business, whether it's in Canada or the U.S., adds a further layer of complication to the whole cross-border issue.